welcome to the Nigerian Bossman, and it's a pleasure to have you on this special episode. And thank you for those of you who have subscribed so far to my channel. And today is the 10th day of the 10 days of rage protest in Nigeria. And I'll say that it has been largely successful, apart from the fact that some lives have been lost. And again, I want to express my heartfelt condolences to those families who lost their loved ones in this unfortunate incident. And I want to say that actually this protest is something that I've prayed for over the years. Some might wonder why should I pray for a protest? Because I felt that there has been like a covering over Nigerians, and they have been so docile and unresponsive to the waywardness of those in the political class of Nigeria. But even many people thought that this protest will never happen. But I'm happy today that we are seeing that it is the 10th day of protest so far. Of course, we know that some states it has ended, it has died down, but today, which was the final one, saw multitudes of people come back again to the streets. And some will say that what has been achieved, I believe that a lot has been achieved, because it has allowed the political class know that it will never be business as usual. Because right now, many of them are still in hiding, many of them are still in fear for their own security, because they know that Nigerians have been pushed to the wall. And indeed, many people are suffering, many people are in hunger. It's a struggle for people to even eat a meal a day, how much more the 3 meals they used to enjoy before. You can see now that the NNPCL have come out to say that the refineries in Port Harcourt and Warri will become functional by the end of the month. You can already watch this video.
Dates announced by the past administration to get the federal government-owned refineries back on stream. It appears the Port Harcourt and Warri refineries are set to become operational again in a matter of days. Actually, all thanks to the collaborative efforts of the Nigerian government and the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited. For context, we are now being joined by Dr. Billy Gillis-Harry, the president of Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, who was part of a recent on-the-spot facility tour of 2 of the refineries. Good morning, sir, and many thanks for joining us on the morning show.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, and good morning, Nigeria.
Thank you. Now, it says that we've heard that you went and you saw 2 of the refineries, Warri and Port Harcourt. I want you to know that should Nigerians be optimistic that the Port Harcourt refinery in particular and the Warri refinery, that they're going to be back online by the end of the month? We were told by the NNPC that we should expect it in August. We are in August. Do you think this is going to happen?
Yes, I think it will happen. I have listened to some of the earlier conversations you've heard, and I believe that we need to discourage naysayers. We have to be positive. We have to be...
So if not for this protest, this issue of the refineries have been on for many years. Successive government have come, they have used, budgeted billions of naira, and at the end of the day, with so much promises, things never worked. The same with this present government. And these protests have now put pressure on them, because we have seen a situation where people have been deliberately sabotaging the local refineries to the detriment of Nigerians, where they have preferred to illegally carry out crude to refineries abroad, refine them, bring such back home, so that the local refineries will not be able to survive or even produce, while they end up smiling to the banks. And at the end of the day, Nigerians are suffering. And so the fact that refineries are being revived now is a pointer to the fact that there are times, that there are times that citizens do not need to fold their hands and watch the irresponsibility of those in leadership, as we have seen in the case of Nigerian politicians over the years. And it has now come to the climax. And again, another thing that has happened because of this protest is that we have seen elders who have folded their hands over the years watch this mess go on. They have now awakened. We saw Emeka Anyoku, who was the former, I think the former ambassador to the UN, now leads these elders to Aso Rock to see Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The founding chairman of the Patriots was late Chief Rotimi Williams, Timmy the Law as he was fondly called. He was succeeded by Professor Ben Mwabueze, and I am now the successor of Professor Ben Mwabueze as chairman of the Patriots. In March, the Patriots organized a national colloquium, and the attendees of the colloquium included many former governors and many former and serving senators and members of the House of Representatives, as well as several academics and constitutional lawyers, plus members of the general public. The colloquium unanimously adopted a view which they requested should be conveyed to you, Mr. President, and to the National Assembly. The view was that Nigeria needs a new legitimate Nigeria People's Democratic Constitution.
And they are now asking for a review of the Constitution of Nigeria, which is one of the demands of the people. And so we can see that if not for this protest, this call, this support from this group would not have happened. And now Bola Ahmed Tinubu's response is that such will now be put to a national referendum. Of course, I know that if it's put to a national referendum, many of the different parts of Nigeria will agree, will accede to the fact that a return to regionalism and also a review of the constitution is needed, so that we can now see regions that are competitive, regions that are healthy, as we had had before the military came in to change things. And another thing that I saw because of this protest is unity of Nigerians. The fact that many people who were divided along tribal lines, along religious lines, along party lines, many of them have been brought together because of this protest. And I'm happy that Nigerians, that spell that has been over Nigerians over the years has now been destroyed. So I say congratulations to the organizers of the protest and also to Nigerians for coming out to be part of this protest. And let us know that, like I've always said, power belongs to the people. God has vested power in the people, and it is because of a people that a king can exist. Without the people, the king has no power, because it's the people that makes him their king. So I want to say that we look forward to seeing what's going to happen between now and October, when there might be a return to the streets.
That this protest will resume from the beginning of October, and it might even resume earlier depending on situational variables. And when we start in November, we will not stop until these demands are met. So already that conversation is going on among planners and organizers and the public, members of the public about this. So,
just to get it right, 1st of October, which is Independence Day.
yes, well, they're on Independence Day. We want to fight for real independence starting from that day.
By protesters, because this is a time frame that has been given the government, and hopefully Bola Ahmed Tinubu will wake up along with this government to realize that things will never be the same as it was before. And also the lawmakers of Nigeria should also realize that things can never be the same. The irresponsible ways they have been behaving before now, that it is time to change their ways and allow Nigeria take its place before the world and be what it's supposed to be. And I also pray that this issue of handouts that has now become the approach to solving issues by this government, according to them, is the Renewed Hope Initiative. Bola Ahmed Tinubu's wife was saying that they were going to give women, 1,000 women in each state, 50,000 naira to step up their business. What is 50,000 naira in the scheme of things in Nigeria? 50,000 naira is almost like nothing to somebody who's in business. So it is not handouts Nigeria needs. Nigeria needs, one, at this point, power, stable electricity, so that those who own businesses do not have to think about how to power their businesses. Nigerians need security, so that those who were involved in farming will now be able to return back to their farms. And I believe that this issue of making kidnapping, banditry, and its associated vices a business, an end should be brought to it. The Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, should arise and give a marching order so that these bandits can be taken out of our forest, and also the communities should also be given that power to go into their forest and ensure that they purge out these people who have become a big nuisance, so that farmers can return back to their farm and begin to do their business as it was before, so that people can easily have food to eat and also be able to sell as it was before. And also accessible roads to be made to major areas that are major producers of agricultural products. These are some of the ways we can begin to bring sanity to this whole thing that has engulfed the nation. And also for the North, because if we compare the protest in the South, the Middle Belt, and the North, we will see that in the North, it was largely destructive, because most of those who were on the streets were these almajiris, children who had been abandoned, children who have been denied access to education. Because while the rich Northerners, while the middle class Northerners, the political class, have sent their children to school, the almajiris who have just been bred and are now everywhere have not been given that possibility to be educated. At least I give a little credit to the Jonathan-led government. He built schools to be able to absorb these children and give them access to education. But that was destroyed. So you cannot think of emancipating a people without education. It is not possible. And so I hope that the political class of Nigeria have now realized that it can never be business as usual. The whole misbehaviors in the past, it is time for it to come to an end. And I pray that between now and October, that Nigerians will be able to see a visible change, so that those who have been hungry can at least have possibility to eat. And children who have been out of schools, millions of children who have been out of school, will be able to return to school and have that privilege of access to education. So, my dear Nigerians, let us continue to pray for Nigeria and let us take the necessary action without destruction of any property. I pray that we will all see the kind of Nigeria that we desire in our own lifetime, so that our people do not have to be forced to move abroad and become prey to many of the frustrated people in nations they run to for refuge, so that we can see our country as our home, feel comfortable in it, do business as we desire without having to seek for refuge somewhere else. The potential is there, and let us return and grab it and utilize it, and also continue to speak truth to the political class of Nigeria. May God bless you, may God bless Nigeria, and may God bless all nations around the world as they seek for the truth in moving their nations forward. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Amen.